We are just about live. Live from Saturday night. Woohoo. Woohoo. Let me do one thing here. Webcam. Configure. Not much better. I'm gonna get a better, more official setup sometime here. Alright, so should we go back to this file? Verify that what I want is in here. Also, I haven't put down levels, but I think I'm at 3. Yeah, I must be at 3. None of the rest of these numbers along the side here are high enough to be higher than 3. So let's continue building Aragorn, but actually before I do, let me quickly talk about 2 different things. The first, Dream Chasers, the kickstarted game, that RPG that I told you about before, that has funded, but that is still going on. So if you watch this before, say, the end of February 2017, definitely go check it out on Kickstarter. The other thing being coming out later today or tomorrow, we are doing episode 1 of our Star Wars trilogies that we're presenting. The audio quality is not up to snuff this time around. We were picking up weird background noise. I'm not sure if we were picking it up off my laptop, off of the TV was on downstairs, but we couldn't hear it. If that was just causing some vibrations of some sort or something like that. But for whatever reason, there's weird background noise, and the players didn't use the mics as well as they should have. So it's still enjoyable. I've gotten through about 15 minutes of editing, and it's still entertaining. However, the sound quality is not really where I'd want it to be. So, anyways, that is coming out. Tatooine Troubles, episode 1 will be out, like I said, in a few hours, and then look for Tatooine Troubles episode 2 at the end of February. We are doing trilogies, once a month release, so that's kind of going to be when you're able to expect it. But back into character creation. For our good old fighter, who's known as a ranger in Lord of the Rings. So at 4th level here, we get an ability score improvement. I should grab my dice. Easy roller dice. They're awesome. So we look to go up a level. Let's roll hit points. Solid 7 additional hit points. And we get to have an ability score improvement here. Or a feat. I don't think, Aragorn isn't going to really need a feat. He's just going to have really good stats. So we're going to bump up his strength to start out with. That's strength based, so why was I so high on that? That should have just been a +4 again. So now it should be a +5 still. And oops, +5. Oh, wait. because I gave him... Was it because of Great Weapon Master? Nope. Was it because of some maneuver I gave him? Which doesn't look like it got saved. Yes, no, maybe. Seriously, that information was in there. Kitten, I love you, but you can't sit there. So, it looks like we have to go through and redo a little bit of this because I was being stupid. So we have maneuvers that use superiority dice. And we know so superiority dice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have no idea how the information was lost. I'm not all that impressed with this PDF reader. And the cats are not all that impressed with the carpet. And so the saving throw is going to be against strength, so saving throw is 13 currently. And finally, I can't remember what we had chosen. Evasive footwork, I think, was one of them. Expend superiority die to add to AC until you stop moving. So to me that reads as kind of you stop moving when you attack. So you do it after you attack one turn, and then and I believe that is there are D8 currently. So next thing up, precision attack. Expend superiority die to add to attack roll. You can do so before or after roll, but before you know results. So it's kind of like having your own bardic inspiration for yourself there. And finally, let's go with disarming strike. Expend superiority die on hit to add extra damage, and enemy makes strength saving throw or drops an item of your choice. they're not necessarily the most Legolas, or not Legolas, Aragorn ones, but they're pretty good for how I see it. And they're pretty useful ones, which is also kind of what I was going for with it. I presume I probably should kick those up by what they're supposed to be. +4 for insight. 4 for perception. Wait. That stays the same. Forgot. Only increased my strength. That does mean my strength saving throw goes up to a nice 5. So that takes us up to level 4. Let's just go quickly on for a couple more levels here of fighter. 5 and 6, because they're really dang easy. You can attack twice, and then another skill bump. This one we're going to put into dexterity. Makes a lot of sense. Gives a nice way to fight. Let's see, that's also a 5. Kind of get all over the map a little bit here as I level up all this stuff. So 2 more levels, gonna take us to 6. So 3 and 10, so 13. 47. Which is good, very good actually, for us. And I should have done this before, because this is going to go up as well. So remember, when your proficiency bonus is tied into the number of levels you have, other things are going to be tied into the number of levels you have inside class. However, proficiency is always tied into number of levels. So +6. It's 3. Just go around here, get all of these to 6. 6, 4, 4, 4. And 4. So at this point in time, we are going to actually do our levels, our character class switch. We're going to go to Ranger. Well, we're going to do 3 levels of Ranger. I'm pretty sure that's all. Let me hop over. I can't find my mouse. There we are. Revised Ranger. So if you remember from when we did Legolas, Ranger, we went with, so this is nice, it's still a D10, not going to mess anything up for us there. We get a favored enemy, natural explorer, a fighting style as well, and we get to choose a conclave here. Ranger Conclave. Let's see. Have to find them again down here somewhere. Beast Conclave? Nope. Hunter Conclave? Yep. So let's do a quick roll here. Get our 3 levels. So 9, 11 and 18. 18 gets added to our hit points. It's really nice not to have to switch back and forth between different dice. So now at this point we're about halfway leveled up, and we're definitely a lawful good, maybe neutral good again type of character. But at this point we're about halfway leveled up, and when we go back to Ranger here, we can confirm at level 9 that's right when we hit +4. So we can go through, bump all these things up again. It's slow sometimes. There are some things that are just slow. And one of the big ones is every time you go up a little bit, you have to go up higher with this as well. It's just kind of how it works. I think I forgot to do this last time. 15, and then we're actually going to take it to 16 because he is getting the defensive fighting style. If you're wearing armor, +1 to AC. Already factored in. So that's a nice additional bump for Aragorn. And then we're gonna hop back to the revised Ranger here. Let's look at stuff at first level. Favored enemy and natural explorer. Favored enemy, we get to choose beasts, fae, humanoids, monstrosities, or undead. +2 bonus on damage rolls, and advantage on survival checks when tracking them. An advantage on info about them. So, favorite enemy, humanoids. +2 damage to favorite enemy. Advantage on int and whiz about favorite enemy. Makes sense for it to be both. And then, so we've already done this, and we have our natural explorer, which the big thing is you don't really become lost. You can track. Natural explorer. Yes. Rough terrain doesn't bother you, and you can't get lost. Very Aragorn. Like, this is why we had to dip into Ranger for at least 2 levels. And then we have our spellcasting ability. Again, not going to affect anything. We're not going to add primeval awareness to him. He is just going to get to choose a conclave. Again, the conclave that makes sense. Deep Stalker, I mean, if you wanted to theme the game well, Deep Stalker could actually, instead of being Underdark, just replace it with Mordor or Under the Mountain, like those types. But in this case, we're going to stay with Hunter, and then with Hunter we get the 3 options. We have the Colossus Slayer, the Giant Killer, and the Horde Breaker. He is less, I would say, of a Horde Breaker than Legolas. Aragorn is generally the one who is inspiring everybody, and Like, he's the one who faces off against the big bad guy most of the time. We're going to go with Colossus Slayer. I like that one. Oh, don't install fucking updates. This is why I was late. Let me check one thing here. Part 2. I'm not sure that will take, but I can hope. Maybe there's a save somewhere on this page. I'm trying to update. Oh, it says all changes saved. So, good enough for me. So with Colossus Slayer again, wrong direction. It's, let's see, what is it? 1d8 extra damage on creatures below their max hit points. Just close. Never come back, please. Let me verify I read that. Once per turn. So that's really kind of fun because it doesn't say you have to declare it ahead of time. So don't make your players declare it ahead of time either. Simply declare it when it comes up, when you hit. It's the point of having an epic character like this. So let's hop back into the player's handbook now, because I'm going back to fighter, which is kind of, it feels weird to be doing, but we're gonna go level 7 of fighter, and so at level 7 we get to change a few little things here. This D8 becomes a D10. Nice. Oh, this has actually gone up. Let's see, we are at +4 for our proficiency and +3 for that. So this is actually now a 15. And going back here, we get to add another feature with our as being a battle master, and we also get to pick 2 additional maneuvers. If you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you learn certain information about its abilities compared to your own. Spend a minute outside of combat, you have an idea of some of who you have some information about whom you have been observing. This works perfectly. I did not intentionally line this up, but this is basically what you could say Aragorn did to Frodo and the hobbits while he was watching them be idiots. So let's see. We get 2 more maneuvers. Distracting attack. When you hit a creature, you can expend 1 superiority die to distract the creature, giving your allies the opening. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. The next attack against the creature other than you has advantage. I like that one. Distracting strike. Expend superiority die to hit to add extra damage. Next, member of the Fellowship. Nope, not next member of the Fellowship. Next, not enemy, party member besides you who attacks it gets advantage on their attack. Fun. And let's see. I think this one works pretty well as well. Maneuvering attack. A party member can move to a more advantageous position. Basically, up to half its speed. And then we'll get to level 8 fighter as well right now, and this might be a short one. I am kind of thinking about going towards a little bit shorter format, possibly a shorter format and having 2 streams per week, half an hour time chunks. It gets to be a really long video if it's longer than that, so I like half an hour time chunks, and it'll allow me to keep you guys up to date on more interesting things that might be going on as well. So as we get to level 8 here, level 8, also known as I haven't added in hit points for that yet, so we're going to finish at 11 levels. So 5 and 1, just in case I had. We're now at 71. And let's quickly go back to the Ranger here. Wrong one. Ranger here. Just because this is, I closed the book, so it's the same for everyone. We're still at a +4. And we get to increase the stat again. And you're going to kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just going up on both strength and dex. Those 2 stats make a lot of sense to me for Legolas. Aragorn, and I'm not going to expend as much into increasing. I might eventually get into increasing wisdom and intelligence, since we are 11 levels in, and I'm going to have a few more upgrades to skills, but I want to get these strength and dexterity to at least 18 before I even touch anything else. Before I'll probably bump up wisdom to a 14 at some point in time. So looking at that now, we have all of this stays basically the same. That becomes an 8, that becomes an 8. The only last thing to update here is our saving throw goes up to a 16, which is pretty good considering you're a fighter. And I mean, most of these add extra damage, which is kind of what we're looking to do anyways. As Aragorn's kind of, like I said, he's the one who faces off a little bit more against the more notable enemies. And yeah, I like it. I like the abilities that he's getting with this too. It's very much how he can help control the battlefield. So with that, I'm going to have all of you witness this. In-app commands. Save. Yay. In-app commands. I'm just curious. My guess is we're going to flip over to this one. It's going to tell me... Oh, wow. Weird. Nope. Let's just close that. Close that. You really didn't need to see that, but you did. So tough luck for you. And with that, I will sign off for tonight. I will be back. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be back on Thursday, probably at about 5 o'clock again, a little bit after possibly. But with that,